Hello, welcome to the 10th episode of the Long Day's Journey to Film podcast. I'm Russ, my co-host.
Andy here.
And it's October, so we're going to be talking about horror all month.
It's Spooky Month.
And this first this first Horror-tober. It's not the right word. What the fuck word am I thinking of? Horror-tober? Spooktober? Whatever. This will be the first one where we talk about documentary, mockumentary horror.
I'm stupid.
All right, here's the thing. Is it just like documentary horror that's fake, or is it mockumentary? Because mockumentary, I feel like that kind of has like a like it's comedic, you know, like mockumentary, or does that just mean it's like a fake documentary?
I've always assumed it just meant fake documentary because a lot of people just refer to fake documentaries as mockumentaries.
Okay, yeah, so we're going to be talking about some horror mockumentaries today. We're going to be moving the question segment to the end of the episode, so check the timestamps down below if you want to hear your answer question. Oh, fuck, I can't speak. If you want to hear your question answered. And before we get into the movie discussion, since we hit the massive milestone of 10 episodes.
Massive.
Fucking massive. We're like breaking all-time highs right now. It's like a new record.
We're breaking the internet.
Yeah, just...
Forget Britney's tub.
So, what do you think... How do you think the podcast is going so far? I mean, you joined in episode 3, so you've been here 7 episodes. Actually, 6, because you weren't on for the 1, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
6 episodes. Damn.
I think we've come... I think we've come pretty far since the first episode. You know, we got good mics. I think we talk a bit better. Not to like...
we definitely have better
auto-flate.
with the word chemistry as hosts.
Yeah, I think it's just... I think we're doing good. I think we can...
We're growing into our space, and we're gonna grow more.
Yes.
Until we come again.
Yeah, I didn't have much to say there, but yeah, fuck it. 10 episodes, you know. People are listening. I'm glad people like it. Yeah.
I'm glad people actually check the podcast out.
Yeah. Yeah, we always have room to improve, of course, but I think we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good so far.
Yeah. But shall we go on?
Yes, we shall get into the meat of it. I always say that. Fuck.
The meat of it.
So our first movie of horror month is the Poughkeepsie Tapes from 2007, directed by John Eric Dowdle.
I don't know.
It's a fake. Not fake. It's a like horror crime mockumentary. About... Want to give a fucking thing?
Poughkeepsie Tapes is a mockumentary horror film about a serial killer in Poughkeepsie, New York, who left behind a cache of snuff films. So a guy decides to make a documentary about it, and it goes in depth about all his victims, how he acted, and one particular victim we'll get to.
Yes.
And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's about a serial killer.
A serial killer, and he has a giant fucking collection.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm a bit out of it. I'll get into it as we go. All right. So I watched this movie a while back. And
same.
And it really creeped me out the first time I watched it. Like, it actually kind of unsettled me.
Yeah. Same.
Which I didn't really expect, because it's like, you know, I think I was under the impression it was like a found footage movie when I first watched it. But
I mean, it technically is. but not
Yeah,
like
I
full
guess I
film
did
footage.
find a bunch of footage. But like, yeah, it's more of it is like a documentary. It feels like very much like a something you'd see on TV or like Netflix, which I really think is interesting about it because like it's just something about it feels like
Uh-huh.
kind of like real in a way.
Real, yeah.
Like, I mean, not really. I mean, some of the stuff, some of the footage and
I
stuff is a
would
bit
say kind of the opposite. Like, it's not filmed in the typical way a documentary about true crime stuff is, and it shows more than most probably would. So I guess it could possibly take you out if you think about it that
yeah,
way.
yeah, because like, yeah, it was just like what felt real was like I thought like the interviews with the people. I mean, they are a bit awkward, and like I think they kind of have like a what's the word? Like they're just it's not cringy, but like a little bit like it just feels awkward when you're
Awkward
watching
and
it.
realistic.
And that feels realistic because I feel like you see that type of thing in crime. I mean, I haven't watched that many crime documentaries. I know you're more into that type of thing than I am, but like I know that they wouldn't be showing. There are a lot of scenes in this where they show like the actual footage that they found, from the Poughkeepsie Tapes of like him like kidnapping and murdering and torturing
Sometimes
people.
they do. Usually they keep it very. I don't want to say like PG-13 because these documentaries are obviously like unrated or R-rated, but
Yeah,
they definitely don't show what this movie shows.
yeah. Like if this was a real documentary, it would be kind of distasteful. Is that the right word?
It'd probably be banned.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it almost feels like a fucking like
Snuff
a yeah. It like because that's based. That's what the unnamed killer. I don't know. Does he ever have any kind of name in this?
Yeah, Edward Carver, I believe. I believe
What?
it's not his name doesn't come up to like the end of the movie,
Hmm.
if I remember correctly. I don't
Yeah, I
remember.
think you're. Anyway, the killer, the serial killer. Yeah, he made all these snuff films, and
And he's also
um,
called the Water Street Butcher.
yeah. So on rewatch, I've seen it twice. I saw it once a while back, and now
Yes, twice for me as well.
I do think has its problems, but I do think it's really good, and I think it's pretty effective overall. Yeah. So what do you think of it?
I think it's a pretty okay film. I didn't like it as much this time as I did the first time.
Yeah,
Similar
same.
to I think it kind of lost a bit of its shock value and charm,
Hmm.
and felt flattish for me. I mean, there was definitely some scenes in the movie that were very what's the word? I don't want to like say cringy in like a cringy laughable way, but like the balloon stuff was a bit
Oh
weird.
yeah, yeah.
Um, anything dealing with child abduction throughout the film genuinely makes me uncomfortable, but that's
Yeah.
probably, I mean, it's child abduction.
Actually, spoilers for this. Spoiler warning. There's your spoiler warning, people.
What was gonna say? Oh yeah, the sequences where he's like, there's one particular sequence, and it's towards the latter half of the film when he abducts the foreigner. I forget what country she's from. I want to say
Oh yeah,
Australia.
in the police car. In the police
In
car.
the police car, and I think that's a pretty one of the better scenes in the movie because it's actually genuinely creepy and unsettling and feels a lot more real than the rest of the movie in some aspects.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean with parts of it being maybe uncomfortable. I'm not sure if I'd say cringy, but like yeah, it's definitely got some uncomfortable parts. Like you said, like the child abduction scene. Like even though it's like they don't, it's not really, it's not that bad. He just like walks up to the little girl or whatever. But like it's more of the implication of it is just like creepy. And like he just says to her like, if I was the big bad wolf, there's like nothing you could do about it. And I don't know. It's just like yeah, that was kind of a creepy scene. And one thing I did notice when he like whacks her on the head, the sound effect was kind of bad. That took me out of it. It was like kind of a cheesy like thwack sound. Also, there's a later in the film. There's a point where he gets in a car. I think he's like hitchhiking.
Yeah.
And he gets in the back of the car with the couple.
Yeah.
He stabs the guy driving, and then they crash. And like the crash just sounded like off. I don't know. It just sounded like if you looked up like like a stock like car crash sound. But overall, like the effects and stuff in this, I think are really good. Well, like it's not like super gory. I mean, but like when there is stuff, I think it's done well. You know.
Yeah, like some scenes work very well, but some scenes don't. I think anything dealing with Cheryl Dempsey, who is probably the victim that's focused upon the longest, and almost like it feels like the film is a bit more about her at times than Carver, or or the serial killer, whatever you want to call him, in which he basically kidnaps her and keeps her alive for many years, trapped her in his basement, and becomes his slave in quite a few aspects.
Yeah, I think it's really that element is really disturbing because of the not so much just the torture and stuff, but like more of like I mean that too, but the like psychological element of it. How he's like torturing her psychologically and saying like I killed your whole family and you have to thank me and stuff like that, and like you have to call me master and all this stuff. I don't know. It's just that whole section of because it does take up a good portion of the film, the Cheryl part, and the scene when he like kidnaps her and like she's in there with his boyfriend and she's like or her boyfriend and he's sneaking around the house. It's pretty tense. It wasn't as effective the second time because like I didn't really know where it was going the first time I saw it, but like there was another thing I noticed when he's like chasing the boyfriend. You hear like tense music for some reason, and I was like, "Why the fuck is there music? Like, did they add that in post?" It's like there's not there's not music during the other.
In the tape.
I know it's like there's not music in the tape, and like there's not music in the other parts of the tape. It's not like they added. I don't know what the fuck that was, but anyway, I was getting off track.
Movie they were watching. I don't know. No, I doubt it.
Yeah. Anyway, she develops Stockholm syndrome. I think that's what it's called. Where she's like very attached to him, the killer guy, and which is fucked up. And like she's like, I forget how long he like had her or kept her.
Oh shit.
But it's a long time. It's definitely a long time. Because I know it starts. I think it's in the 90s. It's like I'm not sure if it's the early 90s, mid 90s.
Kidnapped at the late 90s, and then
there's a point where 9/11 comes into as a key point in the story, and so
a weird. It's 9/11 is used in a weird way.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but she has really bad Stockholm syndrome, and like she's very attached to him, and like she's obviously like completely like mentally like just completely destroyed pretty much. And he eventually, he leaves traces because he's always like fucking with the cops and stuff, kind of like the Zodiac killer a little bit almost. Like when he's like there's like a gas station and he's like doing like sign language, telling him to go to a house or whatever where he's gonna leave a victim or whatever. But
BTK. No, wait. Yeah, BTK. He would send letters and stuff as well.
Yeah. But there's a point where they like I forget what it is. They found like clues or something that led them to his house. And like when they get there, it's obvious that he like led them there. And he's all cleared out by then, except for he left the tapes and he left Cheryl in like I think it's like a coffin or like a box or something, still alive. And then once they rescue her, I guess she's I don't really know how long it is after it, but like
It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, and there's that like interview scene, which when they like interview her, and like I don't know why, but it's just really like creepy and like kind of sad and disturbing, because it's like just like how she was earlier in the film compared to then. I think the actor, I forget her name. It's like Stacy Chubsky. Chubsky.
Bosky. I don't know how to fucking say it. My bad.
Yeah, the actor was really. I thought she was really good in this. But like they're like interviewing her, and she's saying like, "I don't know what you want me to say," because like she's not
gonna come for me.
Yeah, and then she like reaches up to like scratch her head or something, and she's like missing like half her arm. Like I don't know, so there's something about that is like really creepy scene. But she kills herself, and he steals her body. So that's actually what the movie starts with.
Yeah, the movie opens. Apparently, there's an after credit scene, which I didn't fucking know about.
Oh yeah, it's there's like a woman like tied up, I guess like in his basement or something, and he says, "I'll keep you alive as long as you don't blink." Then she's just like starting to keep her eyes open, and then I think she blinks, and then it just cuts to black.
I think I maybe saw that the first time, but not when we watched it, because I don't know. I actually watched it the first time, I think on Tubi or Vudu. And the second time I watched it on Paramount Plus. And on Paramount Plus, no ads, and it was like an HD. It was basically a Blu-ray copy.
Yeah. I wanted to get the
interviews and stuff looked a lot better on the Paramount Plus version. They didn't look like as low budget or cheap for some reason.
Yeah. I really wanted to get the Scream Factory Blu-ray of this for the episode, but I'm kind of fucking broke, so I could not, sadly.
F in the chat for my boy.
Let's see, what else have I wrote?
I wrote down that there was a 911 call in the movie where it's the little girl getting abducted. That sounded so fucking fake and dumb. Because she's like, my child's been abducted. There's blood. And they're like, you need to wait 24 hours. Like, fucking, what?
Wait, I don't remember. When exactly was there? When did this happen?
It was the first child abduction when he gets the girl from her lawn.
Oh yeah, because the mother called. Yeah,
And it was the worst 911 call I've ever heard.
Yeah. There's not some of the acting I would say isn't the best. I don't think any of the child actors are good in this. Like the little girl, it just seems fake. Also, like there's one point where the killer what's his name, Ed?
Yeah.
Anyway, he invites two like Girl Scouts selling cookies like into his house, or something like that, and that's kind of a tense scene as well. I mean, it worked better the first time because it's like oh shit, and like he doesn't do anything to him, but their acting it just wasn't very good. Also, there's the guy. Some of the interviews seem a bit like I said, it's a bit like they have that like really serious. That like really serious, overly like it's like played for like a really dramatic effect, which I've seen in this type of thing. So I don't really think that's like a fault of the movie because like that, like those parts felt like something that you'd see in like a crime thing. At least I thought. I haven't seen that much crime stuff, like I said. But that and then there's like a guy. The guy he's the son of the guy who's framed for being the killer, because the killer he like leaves I think it's his fingerprints. It's a cop, and he like frames him, and so everyone thinks he's the killer. And then he gets executed, put to death on the electric chair, which don't usually people sit on death row for like years.
Yeah,
before they get executed, and like
it takes quite a while.
Yeah. And then they figure out that it was not. Anyway, his son, the actor of him, he wasn't very good. He was like, he just wasn't convincing at all. I mean, I don't. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So I don't think I have that much more to say about it, to be honest. I mean, maybe that's a bit disappointing, but there is a theory,
Yeah,
which I very much
that's
like.
exactly where I was going.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's the theory?
The guy doing the documentary is the serial killer,
Yes.
and I think it lines up pretty well.
Yeah, because I think this works really good because he would do the interviews and they come out like they would, and then he would have I mean, first off, the entire movie he's he's very kind of full of himself, or like he's very what's the word, like very confident with what he's doing,
I
like
forgot
very
if he did the like medical scene or was that an actual doctor? Because I found that scene very odd.
wait, what?
The scene where he's talking about the thing you use to cut open a body.
Oh yeah, the yeah, I know what you're talking about, and he seemed like overly enthusiastic about it.
He was like really odd talking about it. But anyway,
There's another odd interview. They're like talking to like a cop or something. I forget. It was like hold up, who was it? Does it matter?
FBI agent guy who's doing a class.
No, it's after the child abduction thing, and there's like they're interviewing a police officer, and for some reason he's like grilling, and like he has like an apron on, and it's just like a very odd, like, why would he be being interviewed right then? I don't know. And anyway, back to the theory. It would make sense that he would, like, say the killer, he would go around and interview people for like making a documentary about it. Because like he earlier in the film he like goes up to the Cheryl's mother, I think it was. And like he just like comes up right to her, so like he's not trying to hide that much. And like he would do that, and then say if he edited the film, he would put the full like all the graphic his stuff
Yeah.
and like that kind of makes sense actually, because he would do that, and also he has a lot of clips of like people saying how like smart and effective he is, like saying like this guy is so he's so beyond the basic serial killer, he's so calculated with everything, and then he'll cut to like whatever they're talking about. I don't know, just like I think that theory makes sense, and I think it's true. I think that is, I mean, I buy into that theory that he made the documentary. And also there's like a lot of
There's a good little thing towards the end, I think, where it's the FBI agent or someone says, when this thing is put into theaters, you bet we're going to be at every showing because this guy will show up to watch his own movie. And it like, I feel like that was a nice closing moment, especially for if this theory is true.
Yeah. Another thing about it is like the way it's edited. The cuts are like really jarring. Like it'll just like boom, cut to like I forget if there's like a staticky or something in between, but it'll just like cut to the footage, like the very graphic footage or whatever, and like it didn't really seem, it didn't really fit with the style of what it was going for, as like kind of a professional documentary, and like maybe that's just they were trying to make it more I don't know what's the word, jarring. The filmmakers, but also I guess you can say if he made it, he's just trying to make it more disturbing. I don't know. I'm kind of going down a
Meta?
what?
I don't know.
Meta?
I don't know.
Meta.
Well, this movie exists.
It do exist. Not gonna lie. There are a few like odd points in the movie with interviews. Like the one is when there's like the woman. I think it's the hitchhiking couple, or the couple that picked him up hitchhiking. She like wakes up with like her boyfriend's like head like sewn into her stomach, which was kind of like weird, fucked up. then like the it goes to like the autopsy guy, and he said like he like deduces that it must have been 2 murders and not 1 because it was the head of a man. And it's like, yeah, no shit, it's the head of it's a fucking decapitated head. Of course there would be 2 murders. I don't know why he said like, oh, I looked at the fibers and I could tell that there were 2 murders. It's like, yeah, it's a human head. Like, where do you think it came from? Like, I don't know what was up with that. And also there's a point where I think it's the guy in the classroom. I think he says like after watching this footage, something like 3 of you will leave and think about and decide not to go in this field or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was that guy or someone else. There's a point where they're talking about how like calculated the killer is, and they say like, all right, so the guy is when he went hitchhiking or when he was hitchhiking, he knew that down this road and then to the right, the gas station, it was empty, and he even knew that. And I was like, yeah, of course, that was his plan, was to go there and kill him. Like, I don't see why he was saying that was like some kind of like really smart, like this was like this brilliant stroke of genius that he knew where he was taking him. Like, I don't know.
It's like the implication. He says he's smart and he thought about the crime, but it has the implication that he's just doing this all willy-nilly. Like,
Yeah.
Like it's a bit contradictory to what you just said, buddy.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, it's so planned out. Then there's another point where it just like gets out of the car, runs up to someone's yard, and like grabs a little girl and runs away. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's. Yeah, then there's the whole thing where they're talking about how he like changes up the style of how he makes like the crime scenes and the stuff look, so it seems like it's not the same person doing it. That was kind of interesting. Then there's the whole thing with like basically he's like 10 steps ahead of everyone the whole time, which I think is interesting. He frames the cop guy and then they execute him, and then like after they find out that he was falsely accused of it, it was like right after 9/11, so it's like the story like nobody noticed.
Yeah.
That was an interesting element, interesting way to
I don't know
use
how
that, I guess.
that element. It felt awkward to me.
Yeah,
It makes sense, but it still feels awkward.
Let's see what else to say. He wears a plague doctor mask at one point.
Yeah, edgy motherfucker.
That fucking edgelord over here.
Well, yeah, he sure likes his edges.
Also, there's that weird scene when like the woman's like tied up. I think it's the one that he like got in the cop car. And like anyway, that was a good scene. I like that scene. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the movie actually. But she's like tied up, and then you see him like crawl out on all fours with like a mask. Like, I don't know what the fuck he was doing there. Like, because like she didn't even see him, so I don't know why he was doing that. He's like crawling out with it's like a double mask. Like it looks like it's on top of his head, so he looks like some kind of creature or something. Then like looks up, and you see it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if I have much more to say about this, to be honest.
I agree. Agree.
I really enjoyed this film, despite its flaws. I don't think it held up as much on rewatch, which I'm a bit disappointed because, like, if someone said like, "What's an underrated movie?" I would always say this. I would say like, the Poughkeepsie Tapes it's like really underrated because like, it's only got like I think it's like a 2.8 or 2.9 on like Letterboxd.
Yeah,
like, it's not like a loved film or like it's not that. It's just I feel like it's kind of mixed in with like other types of these films where it's just kind of like, yes, it's meh, it's not great. Where like I do think it's good. I think it's effective, and I think it's an interesting concept. I like the way they have like the guy talking about the tapes, and it's like the most unbelievably disturbing stuff that they can't even talk about it and stuff. I like that, and like I don't know, I like the more like psychological element of it. But yeah, I didn't love it on second watch. I would give it a 6 out of 10.
Would give it about a 5. I don't know why I make that noise, but
Okay.
A 5 seems adequate. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's. Oh shit! I don't have my fucking stopwatch going. Fuck. I usually turn on so I know how long we've been going. Damn.
Motherfucking cock meat.
Anyway, so I'm not very good with transitioning between things. So for our next film, what should we talk about? Should we talk about Mungo next or Hell House?
Um,
I kind of hate to just be like, this was okay too.
I don't want to end it with an okay. I don't know.
Kind of want to end it with Mungo.
Yeah, that's what I want to do because I do have quite a bit to say about Mungo.
So our next one, actually, in the last episode, when we said announced what we're going to be talking about this week, we said we are going to talk about Poughkeepsie Tapes, Lake Mungo, and the two Grave Encounters films. But then I watched them and I realized I have fucking nothing to say about them, or barely anything, and that they're just straight up found footage. They're not documentary. So that kind of threw off the theme of this episode. I've developed a list mid-episode. I didn't really want to do just a mix. Like I feel like that would just throw off the theme of it. So we changed it to House LLC.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, real quick, I'm just gonna shout out the since I did put my fuck, I'm fucking losing it over here. Since I did put in the time and watched 3 hours worth of Grave Encounters, I'm gonna give my thoughts on it very quickly. So the first one, like, I knew it was like a generic premise. I knew it wasn't like that well received. Like, it's kind of just another one of those like meh type found footage movies I heard, but like nothing even barely fucking happens in it, which like it just kind of irritated me because it's like it's all build up and then like some shit goes down in like the last half hour. It's like 90 minutes long.
Remember much. I just remember they get there, weird stuff happens, then they talk to this guy who's been living there and eating rats or some shit. Was that in the first or second? I don't know.
Oh, that's in the second one. Yeah, I actually like the second one more, which is funny because like it's even like rated lower on like Letterboxd and stuff. Yeah, so the first one, yeah, they just kind of go there and like fuck around and like creepy things happen and they're just like, nah, bro, nah, it's not, nah, nothing's really real happening. And then, you know, of course, they start getting picked off and stuff. I'm not gonna really go into spoilers. I don't have much to say. But like, it just kind of, I don't know. It was just like, it felt anticlimactic in a way. Just because it's like, I don't know. It was just like so basic. I was just kind of bored with it. I gave the first one a 4 out of 10. No, I gave it a 3. Hold up, did I give it a 3 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10? Who gives a shit? But then the second one, they're like, the first movie like exists as a movie. It's like kind of a meta type thing in the second one. So it's like there's like YouTubers. It actually like starts with like YouTubers like reviewing it, which are like I think they're real reviews. It seemed like real ones, but and it was kind of an interesting element. I mean, that kind of meta. It's like the guy's like becomes like obsessed because he like thinks it's real, which you know it turns out it is because it's like I guess they made they had all the footage from the first movie, and then like the producer or whatever.
It's like a Blair Witch thing, kind.
Yeah, and like the producer of the Grave Encounters show, I think it was, because like in the first one they have like a reality, ghost hunting show. He just says like, oh, you know what, fuck it, let's just take all this footage and turn it into a found footage horror movie. And like he's just kind of like a sleazebag and like does that, and like they even point out how like, oh, the effects in the first movie are really bad and it's so cheesy. And then they even say like, oh, we added in some effects to make it look scarier. And like, I don't know, I thought that was like an interesting element of it. And then the guys actually go there, and then it just gets really crazy. There's like, it's not like it's not trying to be like really spooky and atmospheric like the first one, which I didn't really think worked there. But it's like there's just like ghosts like chasing him around and like breaking through walls, and like there's like the guy from the first movie is like eating rats and shit, and like there's like someone like falls in a portal. It's just, I don't know, it just felt like it kind of went for it more. And, like, I still didn't think it was great, but it was like more. I don't know. It was fun. I enjoyed the second one. I gave it like a 5 out of 10, I think. I don't know. I just wanted to give my thoughts since I actually did watch them for no reason, even though we changed it, changed the episode.
Damn, you ripping a bomb?
What?
It sounded like a fat bong rip.
So now we'll be getting on to the next film, House LLC, from 2015, directed by Stephen Cognetti. I think is his name.
I never pay attention to the fucking directors on these.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Or
think
like-
it's only the only films he's done is the 3 Hell House movies, because this is like a trilogy, right? I haven't seen the
Yeah.
other 2.
I've seen the second one, which is the worst of the 3, apparently, and I've not seen the third one. But
Okay.
Okay, so basically, this is another mockumentary, of course.
Yes.
Just 5 years after 15 people were killed. Whoa. 15. Fuck. Weird. Fuck. 5 years after 15 people were killed. You
Skewered?
5 years. It's like I'm fucking filming a
Fucking
movie
dying
and I
here.
can't get my line right. It's the blooper rolls.
Yes, I'll put these at the beginning or at the end. One of them.
Make a special blooper episode.
I kind of want to do that, but like, there's a whole bunch of episodes where I didn't like save the little funny things, so I'd have to go back through the raw, unedited audio, and like I don't really feel like going through like 8 hours of audio just to get like funny stuff. So I'll just from this point on, I'll take anyway. Fuck, I don't even know. What's this movie about? There's some people, accident or something happens. Where people die inside of a fun house or a
Fun house.
a fucking
Okay,
horror.
like 5 years
house.
after 15 people were killed during a haunted house tour, a documentary crew visits the scene to investigate what really happened. And I would just want to say they don't fucking visit the scene till like the end of the movie, but anyways.
Yeah, so what's weird about this is like I thought it was going to be like something like the Poughkeepsie Tapes, where it's like, you know, a mockumentary, but like it really partly is. I mean, technically it is because, but like so. What the fuck is her name? Sarah, I think. Oh, spoilers! Spoilers for Hell House LLC.
Yeah. Spellhouse.
Spellhouse. Anyway, they're like interviewing people, and the one like survivor, I think, of the like people who are running the haunted house. Sarah, she comes by and she's like, oh, you know, I have all this footage because for some reason they were filming it. They were like filming them setting up the house and stuff, and it's like, all right, I have all this, and then they're like, all right, we're gonna look through it and see what is on there, and then it just cuts to that, and that's the rest of the movie, pretty much.
You know,
which is odd. Oh, yeah, what?
I want to say, this is my third time viewing this movie. I quite liked it the first time I saw it, and I even enjoyed it the second time. This time, I liked it, but my love for it is disappearing.
Oh, that's sad.
Not because I don't want to say it's like terrible. I still like elements of it, but the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, it's kind of fucking stupid.
Yeah. I didn't really fuck with it. I just didn't really. I mean, like it's decent.
Okay,
I think it's decent.
To begin, first problem up. Sarah has these videotapes.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, Sarah's a fucking ghost, I guess.
Yeah, because like the guy fucking. I think he becomes like possessed or some shit, or maybe he's a ghost too. I'm not really sure, but he like kills her, or like he like beats her up, and then you see her like dragged off screen by I think what's supposed to be. I think the house is like there's like a demon in the basement. I think that's kind of the
whatever the fuck is in there.
yeah. But like, yeah, I'm not sure if it's like she was dead and she was a ghost, or if she was just like being controlled by the
It
evil
wasn't
forces.
very clear, but I don't understand where she got the footage from.
Well, I guess she got it from the cameras.
Yeah, but if she's not real, then how? I guess she's got
I'm
to
not.
be tangible in a sense, because she was there, and she physically handed over the footage, so
Yeah,
she
because
had to be
I
real in a
didn't
sense.
I didn't see it as that she was dead and a ghost. I saw it as like, because like you see the guy like beat her up and she's like all bloody, and then she's pulled off screen, but you don't actually see her die. So like I thought it was just she was being controlled by whatever. What the fuck is his name? It's called like at one point they say like, oh, there's a there was a the name of the hotel was after a demon or something. Like there was a brief comment, but what the fuck is his name?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Shares my name. It's me. Haha. It's like Andrew Feeble. No, that is his name. Where am I getting Feeble
Andrew
from?
Feeble. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
No, the demon's name.
The
Um,
demon's name
it's like Argradon or some shit.
Abaddon,
Abaddon?
which is
Skip-a-doo.
a pit of
Well,
hell or something.
oh, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, there's like some kind of there's like they see like satanic symbols and there's like a Bible and they're like,
The
oh, it's creepy.
original owner of
Um,
the house was in the weird shit.
yeah,
Basically, and was like a devil worship. I will go with that.
something like that. And he hung
But
himself. But like,
anyways,
oh, sorry, but
what were you gonna say?
I have no idea. What were you gonna say?
Beans.
Beans at Cars 2.
Okay, but okay. So I mentioned the Sarah thing. So
Mhm.
this film focuses on the film crew. That was a bit redundant. They're
Well,
not a
it
film
doesn't.
crew.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said film crew. Haunted house guys who go around and live off of doing haunted houses, which I don't know how that works, considering it's only one season of the year. Maybe it's just a small thing they do for a month. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That seems more likely. But
Yeah, because like, or maybe they do other shit. I don't really know. They don't really explain it.
it doesn't really matter. But basically,
In
this
the end, it doesn't even matter.
this crew, yeah, listen here, boy. This crew of people I don't know why I'm fuck.
Well, I didn't get why they were filming it because
There
like
was just
usually,
one guy really filming it, and it
yeah,
was
but like
Paul.
I don't know. Usually they have a reason why they're filming, and like obviously in these types of films, it's like there's always some kind of a hook or like some kind of thing that would make it give them a reason to film. And then there's always a question like, all right, but why do they keep filming? They're like running for their lives and they're still filming. But like something like the Blair Witch, they're making a film, or like fucking, Grave Encounters are doing like a ghost show. Like Wreck, it's like a news crew or whatever. But like this is just kind of he just is doing it because. And then it's like throughout the film, stuff is happening, and other people are still carrying the camera around for like no good reason.
Yeah,
And like that's just and like and then they find the footage, but like that's most of the movie. It's not really a documentary. So like the documentary elements of it feel kind of out of place. Like the guy that just shows up and he'll be like, you know what, I really think that Alex's friends, they were just going along with
that old guy.
going along. Yeah, and it's like or like they're just going along with it because he wanted them to. And it's like what the fuck does they could have just cut that out and had it be like a found footage movie. I didn't think it really needed to be or like the interviews with
The
like the people.
documentary aspect was totally not fucking necessary to anything.
Yeah, like I didn't
It
think
feels like
that
they weren't
added
brave
much.
enough just to go with the not documentary, but found footage aspect, and we're like, we need something to build into this when you didn't.
Yeah, like they didn't want it being fucking thrown in with the rest of the found footage. Because when was this? 2015. I kind of forget when did the found footage like genre start to like because that was like a big it was a popular thing to do for a while. But like, when did that start to like die down? Because that's not really a thing people do anymore. That's like, you know, it's not popular.
From it. Okay, so it started with Blair Witch, but it had a resurgence with Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, that was what, like 2009, I want to say.
Yeah, so it was like I want to say like 2009 through like 2013.
Yeah. So this was kind of like after that,
Yeah.
in a way, and like, yeah, I guess it just because like the description. Let's see on Letterboxd. It's like, yeah, 5 years after an unexplained malfunction causes opening a documentary crew travels back to the scene. All right. Anyway, it's like I thought it was going to be more about like more mystery about like what's happening, and like because they build it up like that in the beginning, and then it just plays out as like this basic like found footage type horror with like the people, you know, they're like seeing creepy things, and like I do think some of those scenes are effective, like the scene when the guy he's like doing like a little he's like talking to the camera in his bedroom, and you see someone like walk up behind him and it's like shadowy, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Like that's creepy. Like I don't know, that's kind of creepy. Or the scene when he's like he like wakes up in the middle of the night and there's like a lady in the corner of his room, and he's like hiding under the blankets. Like that was kind of creepy. I mean, you know, it's pretty basic. Like
I think there are some pretty good scares in the movie, but other than that, the movie falls pretty flat. I don't know why I rhymed.
I thought the only good scare scene was the one with the lady in his bedroom. I mean, it wasn't great. I mean, it's a pretty basic scare. Like, you know, all right, creepy thing over there, you know, look, and it's not there. Then look again, and it's up in your face. I mean, it's pretty basic, but, like, it was effective.
Because there was build up to it. Because you had seen it happen previously, but it didn't progress to the point where it did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but, like, the other scenes when it's, like...
I really like
oh, what?
the stuff with the clowns. I really like the stuff with the clowns.
Yeah, like the part when they're in the basement and like you see their heads turned, or like the heads are turned, then it's not, or like the guy like he just walks up and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing in the costume or whatever?" And like he's just standing there, and then he's like, "Not." Like that was cool, but like I never really thought it was that creepy, just because I've seen that type of thing. I don't know. It was just like I thought all the scares and like creepy elements were pretty basic, but like they were like done fine. Like, I didn't think it was anything great, but I didn't think it was cheap and stupid like in Grave Encounters or something.
I like them, but they're not, like, amazing, but scary.
Yeah.
I mean, movies don't typically scare me, so it's not, like, that big of an insult to say it didn't scare me.
Yeah, there is, like, one thing. One of the... I want to say it's, like, the demon or something. You see him, like, twice, and, like, it's obvious it's just like a guy wearing a mask, and the mask doesn't look very good. It just looks like a rubber Halloween mask or something. That was a bit cheap. I don't know. What else is there to be said? They build it up like there's like this huge thing gonna happen, or like this huge reveal, and that's just kind of like.
They never fucking actually show what happens in the basement anyway.
And that's annoying, because it's like, yeah, the beginning, there's like it was like a video that was posted to YouTube of someone, and like, going into the house, and like, you see like people like running out, and like, then it's like, okay, what actually happened? And then later you see it from the other people's cameras and stuff. But you don't really see it. You just kind of see more like people running around and being scary. And I guess you see the main characters die. But you already knew they died. Like, I don't know.
It's just this film could have been handled better if you had just, I don't know, cut out the bullshit. Like, cut out all the documentary stuff, focus on the found footage, actually show what you're fucking building up, and not cheese out and be like, we can't afford this on the budget, so fuck it. We'll record a wall instead.
Yeah, and like... Yeah, and then, like, at the end, then the documentary crew, they're like, oh, fuck it, let's go to the house and break into it. And they're, like, looking around, and the lady's like, she's, like, real excited to see, like, oh, look, this is the room where this happened. And, like, it just seemed odd. Like, she's like, oh, man, look at this. This is the kitchen. This is the kitchen. This is where the person did this. And it's like, it was just weird. She was, like, fangirling about this fucking, like...
Killed themselves.
Yeah, like...
Fuck yeah, dude.
And then they like go upstairs and they see Sarah, and she's like a ghost, and like people with like robes or some shit like run out, and then it ends. I think that's how it ends, right?
I just call them
Like
cultists.
Cultists, yeah. I don't know. That just felt odd because like we just kind of saw that same type of thing. The other crew, or the main like haunted house people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't have much more to say about this, to be honest.
Yeah, this ended up being a bit more filler.
Yeah,
It came on not last minute, but kind of last minute.
yeah. I mean, I think I didn't want to. I probably would have had more to say about the Grave Encounters if we actually like, I wrote notes and all that shit. But that would throw off the theme of the episode because even though this is a found footage horror movie, it is technically a documentary. So we are going with the theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of like okay or meh. I thought, kind of like Grave Encounters. I thought it was just kind of like basic cliche and a bit anticlimactic. So yeah, I'd give it like a 4 out of 10.
I think I gave it a 6 on Letterboxd. I think I might stick with 6 because there's elements I like enough to give it the benefit of a doubt, or whatever the fucking saying is.
I don't know if that's how the expression works. Wouldn't that be
Benefit
like?
of the. Hold on, I gotta
Well,
fucking.
I don't think that's the context of it. Like it would be like to give something
What
the
did you
benefit.
say? I forgot.
um.
I'm not
Yeah,
even.
I'm not sure if I'll be checking out the sequels, but I might. I think they're all on like Prime Video, so.
They're not because I watch House on Prime.
Hmm.
Well, they are. You have to pay for them.
Oh.
They are on Shutter. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I assume the sequels are the same type of thing.
I wanted to watch the director's cut of the first one, but I don't know how much it changes, and I wasn't gonna fucking pay for it. I was like, no.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So.
Was about 5, 6 out of 10.
All right, that's fair.
So now,
We're getting
I'm-
to
the main course, the mainest course even.
Lake Mungo, or Lake Mungo, Lake Munging from 2008, directed by Joel Anderson. It's an Australian film, which is a horror mockumentary. About what's it about?
Lake Mungo is about Alice Palmer, a girl who goes drowning.
She goes drowning.
Who goes drowning, who drowns on, I think it's Christmas, right?
Yeah.
No, it's 6/21. I wrote the dates down because, yeah. So it's a couple of days before. Anyway, let me restart. Lake Mungo is about Alice Palmer, a teenager who drowns with her family. Fuck.
She drowns, and then weird stuff starts happening.
She drowns, and yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, I just thought of something that I never thought about. Why is the movie being filmed?
What?
Why is this a documentary?
Because it's like it's like one of those where it's just like, this weird, this fucking shit, this weird phenomena is going on. Yeah, this unusual thing happened here, so we're gonna, make a documentary about it.
Okay, but anyways, teenager goes drowning, and it explores
Goes drowning.
the drowning, and events around the house start happening, and spooky stuff starts happening, and they go into her story and her background and find out secrets and things that nobody else knew about.
Yes.
And you examine this teenage girl's life after death. And
which reminds me of Twin Peaks a bit.
Yeah.
Like a girl dies, and then there's like these mysterious things that like they find stuff out about her that like nobody else knew, and there's like a weird, a supernatural element, and her last name's Palmer.
Yeah, there's definitely I feel like there's definitely some Twin Peaks nods in there.
It's very different than Twin Peaks, though.
Yeah, it's very
going for very different
but
things.
like, the director was probably a Twin Peaks fan. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyways, I really love. I don't want to say love. I really, really like this film.
Yeah, it's good.
I think when I see people being disappointed with it, I think they're going in with expectations, and this movie doesn't really fit the norm of a typical horror movie, I'd say.
Yeah, it's not a typical, jump scares and creepy. There's not even really any. I mean, there is one scene that's like a scare, but like it's not.
Yeah.
It's not what it's going for. I feel like it's more. It is more about the family, and more about
Grief and depression and dealing with loss, really, is what the film is about. This family dealing with the loss, sudden death of their child.
Yes.
And
Which is the first time I saw this, I didn't really like it. I was just like, that was kind of, I don't know. So I wasn't really that excited to talk about it. But after rewatching it, I kind of saw it in a different way, knowing where the story goes and like how it all plays out. Because I guess first time I watched it, I was expecting something. Because like I always heard people saying it's like this underrated like horror gem, and like so I thought it was gonna be more horrific, I guess. Which it is still creepy. It's still got a very eerie and creepy tone and feeling to it, but like
it's not like straight up horror.
Yeah,
it's more like it feels more like a family drama with some spooky aspects.
Yeah, kind of Hereditary vibes in a way.
Yeah, I was going to say Hereditary, but not quite as extreme as Hereditary.
So, where to start with this? I guess we already started.
The film begins with a monologue of Alice. And I love the little monologue that she gives at the beginning because it kind of sets up the film in its entirety. Alice is talking about her anxiety and premonitions and this ever-growing fear and knowledge that something bad was going to happen in her life. And she was right, but it's kind of like it's a very tragic movie in a sense.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know there's a few theories about what really happened, but I think I probably should touch on this more towards the end of the discussion. But there's theories about what happens in the movie, but I think that's all missing the point.
Yeah, like it's not like a
mystery.
Yeah, it's not like I want to say murder mystery, but like it's not really supposed to be that she was murdered. It's like it's not a mystery of like what happened to her. It's more about it's more about the like you said, like the family and like dealing with
grief
and loss and depression and all that. And I was finding interesting at the very beginning. You see the images of the I forget what the fuck they're called, but they're like this old timey pictures where you would see like a ghost. It's like a ghost appeared, which is interesting because throughout the film, obviously there's a part with the brother. He faked putting her inside of images and videos, so people would think that she's her ghost is around, or like lead people on to kind of keep believing that her ghost is around. And also, we're into spoilers. Fucking shit. Why do I not just say spoilers for everything in the episode? I should just say that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you do actually see her throughout the film, even though it was the brother fake the ones that are obvious.
Yeah, that's kind of the big what's the word, stinger at the end of the film.
Yeah, which is
that the family was like looking for Alice when she wasn't there. Well, hold on, I phrased it wrong. They were looking for Alice in places that she wasn't when she was really there all along. They were just caught up in their own grief and trying to what's the word I'm looking for, cope
with
the loss.
stuff
were
like
just
the brother making the fake things, and the mother, and the mother going to the I want to say psychic. That's not it.
yeah, the fuck. What's his fucking occupation? I might have to go to fucking Wikipedia if it
Yeah,
tells
fuck
me.
it.
Like, I know this film well, I just can't think of the dude's job.
Yeah, it's not psychic. It's like
why is this? This is a very abbreviated summary of the movie. Fuck. Well, it says they consult psychic Ray, so I guess we can go with psychic.
Okay. Yeah, like the mother, like looking to connect with her, or like have a communicate with her her ghost, and like the
And the dad works pretty much.
yeah, that's
To
just kind of
ignore it all. He's in denial. I mean, they're all in denial, and they cope with it different ways. But, anyways,
and like even for a while they're like actually in denial that she's dead.
Yeah.
Because of I think it's because of the video or something, or there's like a image in the back of someone's video. Is that it, or like someone's photograph? Anyway.
Yeah. Another couple was. I want to say, I don't remember if it was the day of or a few days after or something. Was out there enjoying the time out there, and they saw what looked to be Alice in the background.
And it was actually the brother.
It was the brother, but that's kind of what kickstarted the whole thing, I believe.
Yeah, and like they, I think they like dig up her body to make sure it's her.
Yeah, because the mother is like, "Are you sure?" Oh, she's not.
Yeah, because like the father went and saw the dead body right away, but like the mother didn't because she just like couldn't handle it. And like the father, like he knows that's her, but like the mother isn't really, kind of on the fence, or like just in denial. Yeah.
I wanted to say that I get the tone that Alice was very depressed.
Yes.
And she put on a mask that she wasn't. Nobody around her saw it. So she often resorted to things that were unhealthy. Like
fucking the neighbor.
Fucking the neighbor. In a weird threesome with she's underage in this film, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she's like 16. I'm not sure what the age of consent in Australia is, so.
I don't really care about the age of consent. If you ain't 18, you ain't getting the dick. But anyway.
Yeah. But
yeah, she.
Something about that though. Was they move the neighbors, but did they ever like find them and like deal with that whole situation? I kind of forget. Like with the because like I know the family was like very mad at the neighbor. I
don't think there's ever confrontation. The neighbors the news breaks and the neighbors just dip.
Yeah, they're like fucked off. Yeah.
That's about it with that.
Anyway, back to Alice being depressed.
Yeah, and Alice kept secrets. She was depressed. She often did things that were negative. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. I just said it too.
Much like Laura Palmer in Twin Peaks, just saying.
Oh, that's a good parallel you got there. When I was taking notes, I kind of went like on a fucking crazy spree at first. I was like, I wonder if the numbers mean anything. June 21st, 9/25. I just like stopped. I was like, whatever. I'm getting too into this.
Yeah,
but
if you take all the dates and multiply them together by 3, then you realize that 3, there's 3 family members left. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Interesting little tidbit. Okay, so the big stinger at the end of the movie is that she was actually in the photos.
Yeah. Which is creepy.
Thought she was in, but they thought she was in a different spot, but she was in the family photos or just photos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is quite a creepy detail, but also very sad.
What's odd is since I knew that for this watch, the second watch, I looked for her in those scenes and I didn't see her, which is odd.
I feel like that's the thing I was about to mention. I feel like I saw her in that first picture where she's in the window. but I couldn't quite make out a shape. I felt like she was there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't really
Um,
matter because
It's definitely the yard one, because that's the one that, it like zooms in on her at the very end. It zooms in on her and then it ends. So like
the
that
yard
image was
one is
stuck in my head.
weirdest one because it's so
Yeah.
like bluntly she's right there, and it looks like they just put fade on her in Photoshop.
Like I didn't see her earlier, which is I don't know. Maybe I forgot where to look.
Maybe we're missing something. Like she wasn't. I don't know. We can see her now because we've moved on. If you want to say that.
Yeah, and what's interesting, so my kind of should I talk about what my interpretation of it is?
Yeah, we're talking about the movie.
Yeah. So what I think it a lot of it was going for. So, obviously yeah, she, like you said, she's depressed and kind of has a maybe like faking around her family that she's not, and like kind of almost pretending to be someone else in a way. And there's a point where they find a video, I think, or someone tells her, or tells a family. I think it was one of their friends. There's a video of her. They went to, where the fuck did they go? Anyway, and they see her bearing her cell phone.
Oh,
And
they
some other
go
stuff.
to Lake Mungo.
Lake Mungo, yeah, you're right. And then they go and they find the cell phone, and there's a video of it, of her. Where is she? Is she like in a cave, or
She's walking. She's like walking away from the regular campsite or whatever.
and she sees her
Herself.
corpse,
Yeah,
her
of course.
dead self, her like bloated, all fucked up, like body after she drowned. Which is interesting, because
And it's a really terrifying scene. Probably like
yeah, that's it. 'Cause it's like the whole film, it doesn't have any scares. Like there's creepy images of like, is this a face, in the background, or like, oh,
yeah.
is there a ghost? There's a ghostly presence. All of it's just said, but up until that point, and like it's kind of a jump scare because it's coming towards you, and then it pauses, and they talk about it, and then it continues coming towards you. So like, it's not an actual jump scare, but it just like it shocks you because it continues, which is really
Very
creepy.
well
Like,
done.
it is a very well done. Scare, and it's very very effective scene. I mean, it didn't really scare me, but like it like kind of freaked me out. I know the first time I watched it freaked me out a little bit. Anyway, but like she does that, and then she like buries her stuff, and then she dies soon after, I think it was.
Yeah.
So how I kind of see the whole thing, and like when you see, when you actually like see her, I'm pretty sure that's what you see. Is like that kind of like dead her. When you do, like, she is in the photos, or she is in the background and stuff. And the most, fuck, I'm like rambling. So what I kind of see it as is that she was depressed, and that she knew something bad was going to happen, and she said she had dreams, and like that's something else I want to get into about the dreams, and like visions, premonitions, these weird things. Then of course that, and then she died. I kind of see it as she killed herself.
Yeah,
And that,
I wanted to like I see where you're coming from.
and I see it as that she killed herself because in that her, the premonitions, and like her, I guess it's her ghost, is kind of it's like the negative emotions, or like this like fuck, what's the word, like representation of like her.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Fuck, I can't think. It's like this inevitable fate for her, and like, because that is trying to say. So like, yeah, and it's interesting that like you actually do see it. It's not just something that like she saw. Like, say if this was a different, it wasn't like a documentary movie, and like there's just a scene where like she saw her dead body. It would be more like metaphorical. But like in this, it actually is like there is a video. Like the family watches the video of like,
and they see it too.
Yeah, which is interesting. It gives it a more a kind of creepy like feeling of like the unknown of like what the fuck even is this. But I see it as like this representation of like her like depression and like this like horrible like negative energy
Reaching a peak.
yeah, and like yeah, because that's what she becomes this like kind of horrible fate. And like the most telling thing about it for me is it's not, you don't just see her in the background of the dead, her dead in the images like after she died. There's a point where it's like there's a video of a birthday party, her like birthday party, and you see it in the background there too. So it's like it always was there, it always was like in the background, but like they just never she never talked, or she never dealt with it. And like that's how it, and like at the end, they zoom in the photo and it's still there even after they left the house and everything. It's like I just see it as like it is like kind of her ghost is still there, because like I think in this movie there is like a ghost, I think, but like it's like that pain will always still be there, whether they move on with it or not, it's still always going to be there. I don't know. What do you think of this?
I pretty much agree. It's pretty much what I was generally going to say.
Yeah.
That's pretty much like spot on with my analysis of the film. It was her depression, and her depression at that moment. That was like what's
so creepy about
tipping
it
point
is like it's not just like this metaphor for like depression and suicidal thoughts or whatever. It's like it actually does exist. There is like or like there is this fucking thing that's like her dead that she sees. And like there's really interesting parts when they talk about several points with the psychic dude when they go into like, all right, I see the house, I'm walking around the house, that type of thing. And at one point
are very interesting element. Go on.
Yeah, hold up, I wrote something down. In one of Alice, because she talked to the psychic too. They weren't aware, the family, they weren't aware of it when they talked to him at first, but like she would talk to him to like interpret her dreams. And she says, all right, so I'm walking into my room and I see my mother walk in and she doesn't realize I'm here. And that's describing the scene when earlier in the film when the mother walks into her room. I think it's after she died. She walks into her room and it's like, she's not here, and it's like earlier in the movie it's just like it's kind of sad because it's like, oh, she's not, she's gone, but it's like she doesn't realize she's there even though she is. And like another thing when
I didn't
the
even
mother
make
is
that connection.
like the mother is talking about her nightmares that like keep her up at night, like she thinks that Alice is standing at the foot of her bed, and like she doesn't even want to open her eyes because like she thinks she'll see her there. And then Alice is talking about how like she'll have a terrible nightmare and wake up feeling like I'm not sure if she says she felt like she drowned, but anyway, she like she says like I walk into my mother's room and stand over her bed, but I can't say anything and I feel sad. So it's like it's weird how these like in their dreams or like in kind of reality too, they're like going between the things. Like the father says after she died, he like went into her room and just sat there, and then he saw her walk in, and then she noticed he was there and started screaming or something. And it's like it's weird how it's like it goes back and forth in like the timeline of it, I guess, through their dreams. I thought that was an interesting element, and it definitely has this creepy vibe of like you don't really know what's going on, like with this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really write down anything about the dreams, sadly enough, but I think your analysis is pretty cool. Not pretty cool, but pretty good. I don't know. It's like pretty cool. Radical.
It's fucking rad, bro.
That's pretty bodacious, if I do say so myself. But
there's a weird part where the mother says at night she walks around just to avoid sleeping, and she says like I walk into other people's houses just to feel like what it's like to be in their lives. It's like, what the fuck?
They never go into that.
Yeah, it's like
a weird detail.
Like the other mention, like one of the neighbors says like, oh yeah, I know she was going into people's houses, but we never talked to her about it. It's like, what the fuck? She's just like walking into people's houses in the middle of the night. Like what?
Oh yeah, she was in my house last night. I don't know why, but yeah, she was there.
Australians be like, um, what else? What else have I written down? The acting is really good in this, I think.
I think the acting is really good for a movie of its, I don't want to say like budget, but like size.
Yeah, and like the interviews, I think are a lot better than in like say the Poughkeepsie Tapes, which obviously in the Poughkeepsie Tapes, I think it was going for something else, but like in this, it feels like a documentary you would watch. Like it's just like this this like supernatural occurrence happened, and we don't know what it actually is on TV or some shit, and like it feels like that. And like imagine watching this thinking that it's like a real thing, because like I feel like you could watch it. I mean. Yeah, I don't know. Like that would be creepy. Watch this thinking it's like real.
There's a few other things I want to bring up. There's a moment where her father recollects that they still had the porch light on for her that night, and still do at the. She says still do at the time when she says it. And I took that as like, what I wrote down was perhaps metaphorical for still desiring her presence even when it can't be there until they come to terms with it and move on. Then eventually they do turn the light off, and that's when they've coped with her loss pretty much.
Yeah.
Like
I saw
there was still a light on in their brains that were there's still a bit of hope, but after a certain point they turned the light off and realized that it really happened.
Yeah, and it's like also like the mother, she said like I think it was like she didn't have like the greatest relationship with her or something. Or like maybe they didn't really she felt like maybe they weren't what's the word? I don't know. But like definitely the mother felt like she missed out on doing and saying things with her while she was still alive.
Yeah.
And like I heard people, I saw like people saying like the ending with you seeing Alice still sitting there or Alice in the background of the photo. Like that kind of means like she's still there, she's still in the house, but like now she's just all alone. Which is kind of depressing. But like I see that more as like like I said earlier, I think it's more of like that pain of her death and like everything that happened will still be there. Like maybe it's not I don't know, like they've accepted it, but like I don't know, it's still there.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It wasn't like, how do I say this? Okay, so in a way, her being in the photos was her actually being there in the sense that she was there for them. Like she was there with her family. She didn't. They were still part of her with her family, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But also, like, fuck, what was the opposite way I was going with this? Fuck. Where the fuck where was I? God damn it. I hate when I do this. Talk about something, I forget the other point I was trying to make.
I don't know.
And it goes back to what you said about it just being the remnants of what happened.
Yeah.
Still there, the pain. I don't think necessarily that it was like her ghost actually there. It was just the emotion. Like after the family's gone and everything, that's when they show the photos, and I take it as like they moved out of the house because there's still that pain associated with everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's almost not clear if there is like an actual ghost or haunting happening. Like the first time I watched it, I thought, oh yeah, at the end, she's there in the picture. Yeah, it's a ghost. But like, and like this thing with her video or her seeing herself dead. But like,
now that I think about it, I kind of changed my mind on it.
Yeah, like I'm not really sure. I feel like the scene when she sees herself and they see the video of it, so they see it too. There's definitely something happening that's supernatural, or like something unexplainable is happening. Because like, you know, there's no explanation for that. If it was just like a metaphor of like her, you know, seeing her pain or fate or whatever, but it's not. It's like there actually is that, and there's like the things like I said earlier with the dreams when they're actually like connecting parts or stuff that happened like way far apart from each other is actually happening like at the same time. There's something there that is supernatural, but like I feel like it would almost could have been better if they made it a bit more what's the word, ambiguous whether or not there is something supernatural happening. Like I do think it's interesting though that it is metaphorical, but it's also something that is like fuck, what's the word? It's like metaphorical, but it's also something that is like physically happening, something that is like there. I don't know. I'm rambling.
There's also that moment when they're coming back from the lake after they stay there that night, and you get the sense that everything's instantly changed, and they say that we're driving back home and now there's one less seat taken. But they drive back in reverse.
Yeah, I felt like
So
that meant something, but I didn't really get what.
I was going to say that it was like maybe they were driving backwards. They were going backwards because they didn't want to accept that she was dead. So they were driving backwards to avoid the truth, per se.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
denying it, so they were ignoring it.
I'm sure if you like looked at this film in like
'Cause
stages
they were
of the
driving
film,
backwards
you could
to go back
what?
in time. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like if you watched, or I feel like if you paid attention to like the emotions of the characters throughout the film, it would probably be like the 5 stages of grief, in a way. Because there's like a point where they're like, you know, obviously the ending is like acceptance, or like, I don't know, maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but like I've seen that type of thing in other films, and it's probably like that in this, but I'm not sure. There's a point when the brother, he's like has bruises all over his body.
Yeah,
and
that was
it's
the
completely
next thing I was gonna bring up.
Yeah.
Like, some people theorized that it was like him drowning her, which
Yeah, like he killed her or something.
really wouldn't make sense under any context.
Yeah, I guess you could see it as like, yeah, I feel like that kind of defeats the purpose of what I think the film was going for. If it was like she was murdered or something, or
yeah, I just took it as the doctor was like, these bruises are of unusual size and density. Sorry, I said that weird. Got possessed by a demon. I was gonna say it's perhaps a metaphor for the brother's guilt and feeling responsible for what happened because he was the only one in the lake with her when it happened.
Yeah, and also how he
So he was
faked
beating himself up for it.
Yeah, and also how he faked the photos of her, so they thought there would be a ghost, and like the video and stuff. Maybe that was that before or after he had the bruises.
Shit. I'm not sure. I didn't really timeline that part.
I'm not sure how much more I have to say about it, but you got anything?
I mean, I pretty much, I think we had a pretty good conversation about the film.
Yeah,
I think I've said everything I wanted to say about it. I really like this film, and I bought it because, like, I don't really usually buy films straight up. So I was like, fuck, I want this film just in case it ever leaves Tubi, because it left Tubi at one point. So
yeah, does this have like a
it.
good Blu-ray? Because like the last I checked, it only had like a DVD that was like part of a collection or something.
It's not part of a collection because I have the DVD. It says it's like 8 films to die for, but it's just the film alone.
Lake Mungo. Where do it be? But yeah, for like final thoughts, I really like this film, but I don't love it. I do think it, like maybe drags a little bit. towards like the maybe like 45-minute mark, somewhere around there. Just like even for only being like I think it's 84 minutes long. Like for being so short, I feel like it does maybe drag out a little bit in parts.
Yeah,
And
I can see that.
like I do like the themes of what it's going for, but I feel like other films have done the same type of thing better. I mean,
I didn't really
it came
care
out,
for the psychic stuff.
yeah, like it came out like 10 years before Hereditary, I think. When was it? 2008, I
Yeah.
think. But like something like that. I made the comparison earlier, but like something like Hereditary, I feel like does the same type of concept, but does more with it. But like I think for what it is, it's good, and I think the documentary format actually, I think it benefits it. It gives it something that it is more unique, and it's not cheap. They're not just doing it as like this cheap gimmick, like something like Hell House. But like, yeah, I really enjoy it. The first time I watched it, I gave it like a 4, but now rewatching it, I would give it like a 6 or 7.
I give it. I don't know. I like have a bit of a personal connection to this film because I kind of relate to the themes presented almost. So
Yeah.
I'll give it an 8 personally.
Yeah, I'm stuck between like a 6 or a 7. I'll just say
Like
6 for now.
I
might
know
change it to
my
a 7.
rating is kind of on the further end of the spectrum as far as like the reception for this film goes, but I don't care. I'll give it an 8.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about all I gotta say about that. I think we had a good old discussion.
Yeah, we're not done yet. We got questions.
Yes. So now, damn, that was kind of fucking awkward. Why was it such an awkward transition? Is there anything we should say about like documentary horror or like mockumentary horror in general? I haven't seen that much of it. I don't really have like a huge thoughts on it. I mean, I think it's interesting because it takes something like supernatural or whatever, and like tries to make it grounded in something that you would know, like a documentary. So I think it's an interesting style, but I haven't really seen that many of this sort, so I don't really have a lot to say about this like subgenre as a whole.
I've seen quite a few docu horrors, mocu horror, whatever you want to fucking call it.
Yeah, I don't want to call
seen...
it mockumentary. When I think of mockumentary, I think of like something that's like funny because it's like mocking it. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I've seen quite a few, and honestly, none of them are ever that good. I guess you could say that for found footage as a whole. I can't really think of any found footage film that has the praise that Blair Witch has.
Wreck is good.
Wreck has praise. I've never praise. I've never seen it though. But generally, found footage films, Cloverfield got a good reception.
Yeah.
But as I'm trying to say, found footage is not like a genre that gets a lot of high praise itself.
Yeah, it's generally kind of
that's not
looked at as kind of like a gimmick.
Yeah,
but
I like
I
found
think,
footage.
Yeah, I feel like I like found footage, but like I haven't really seen any that I've like loved. But yeah, it's a fun genre. I mean, it does get cliche and a bit hit the same beats a lot of times. But yeah, it's a genre I like, found footage. But yeah, documentary or mockumentary
It's a bit
horror.
of a guilty pleasure, if you will.
Yeah. So now on to questions.
For sure, dog. Let's go, bro. I don't know what I'm saying.
So, if you want to leave your own questions to be answered, leave it in the comment section, or you can leave it on
in one of our 2 Discords.
Yeah, one of the podcast on the podcast channel of one of the Discord servers, either the Film Collective and Movies and More, which I will leave a link to in the description down below. We just got a bomb ass channel on the TFC Film Collective, which is a big movie server. So go check that out and go check out Movies and More. But yeah, if you want to leave your own question for us to answer, head somewhere and check that out. I don't know. So we're gonna be doing horror themed questions. So if you want to ask us something involving Halloween or horror or anything like that, you don't have to, but like, since it is horror month, it's very fitting. So to start it off, from Seb, one of the main dudes on the Film Collective, his question: is there any horror film that traumatized you as a kid? That's a good question.
Yeah, fucking Chucky. I fucking was terrified of child's play in any Chucky film as a child. I could not stand being in a room with dolls. I was terribly afraid of dolls. So yeah.
Yeah, you know what's funny is like when I was younger, I think my mom told me about like Chucky or like Child's Play, or someone told me about it, but like I never actually watched it. I never even like saw clips of it or anything. But like for some reason, I was also like kind of afraid of like dolls. I don't know why. I never even watched it. I didn't like the idea of like a toy or a doll like coming to life and killing you.
It's kind of weird. Even today, it's still a bit of a dolls. I don't really like dolls even today.
Yeah, dolls are creepy. For me, it would have to be. I'm not sure if it really traumatized me. But from Dusk Till Dawn, there's a scene. There's like a vampire transformation scene where a whole bunch of people turn into vampires all at once. I remember I was at my grandparents' house. And I was just kind of flipping through channels, and I think it was on like the Sci-Fi Channel, and it was just like that scene, and then all of a sudden they all turn into vampires. And I was like, what the fuck? And like, it just creeped me out. And like, it's like gory. People are like getting like killed and bitten and shot, and like someone gets like their limbs ripped off. And they're like playing them like a guitar. That like image is like permanently stuck in my brain. I don't know how old I was. I was probably like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
No,
I've never seen the movie.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
I've seen bits and pieces. Never seen like anything in full.
It's so weird because it's like a Tarantino movie, just like straight up like a Tarantino crime film, and then it just switches into a vampire movie halfway through. It's good. It's not great, but it's fun. It's a very fun movie, and I watched it like straight up for the first time. I think like maybe a year ago, and it's like, man, this movie is fucking cheesy. I can't believe this actually scared me. But like, I don't know. As a kid, just seeing people turn into vampires and shit, it just creeped me out. Also, from Nightmare on Elm Street 2, there's a scene when Freddy Krueger he like jumps out of a pool and starts killing people in like a pool party. I was pretty young. I don't know how old, but like I just remember seeing that on TV. And I was just like, it just really creeped me out. But yeah, other than that, I don't really. That's another movie that's like really cheesy and kind of gay. That's a very gay movie.
Wait,
Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yeah, Nose 2 is I definitely want to see that because I know it's generally considered a bit of an LGBTQ film now.
Yeah, we should talk about the Nightmare on Elm Streets at some point.
We should. Shit, when is fucking Pride Month? Is like a long fucking way away now.
June, I think.
Is it just passed? But
is it June?
We should still be doing this podcast in June, so we should Pride Month. We should focus on each week.
Top
we
Gun.
Should do I was gonna say we should focus on a LGBTQ director.
Yeah, we should. There's plenty of good gay films out there. Love to talk about like Happy Together
Greg,
or like
Rocky, and
yeah, fucking Too Fast, Too Furious. Yeah, anything else for the traumatized childhood trauma? I do have one other thing, but it's not a horror film. So there's the show Speed Racer. I used to watch that when I was really young. I have no idea how young. And there's a scene when someone has a dream sequence, or there's a dream sequence where one of the characters, I think it's Speed Racer, he's standing there and someone's talking to him with his back turned, and then he like turns around and his face is like all frozen. He's got like icicles, and like that creeped me out so bad. I had like nightmares about that shit for years. Like, I don't even know. It's not even scary, but like apparently other people watched it as a kid and it traumatized them too. I read that somewhere. So
Speed Racer,
yeah.
the movie.
No, the show. It's animated.
Oh, the show. I was like, movie. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
that
the
was.
show, so
Hmm.
I like the movie.
I haven't seen it actually.
It's very visually gorgeous. If anything, it aged very well visually. But it's a
Speed
Wachowski
Race.
film, so that's pretty much everything
Oh,
for
it
them.
is. Interesting. Fucking Emil Hirsch. Okay. John Goodman. Okay.
It's got
Okay.
an interesting cast.
I might check that out actually. Why is it 135 minutes though? That seems kind of
Because
long.
it's a Wachowski movie.
Hmm.
I mean, look at the
Yeah.
fucking pictures on Wikipedia. It looks dope even today.
Yeah. What the fuck? I need to watch this. This looks like something I'd like. 2000s Speed Racer. Fuck it. Let's go in the watch
I
list.
mean, it might not be like anything amazing, but it's
I like
definitely.
2000s movies. I really do.
I need to rewatch it too. Maybe we'll do an episode on it. It looks fun.
Yeah.
Looks like something fun to revisit.
Anyway, on to our next
Scooby Doo
question.
episode when? I'm kidding.
On to our next question from Cordile Quijil. I always Cordial. I always fuck that up. I gotta. Anyway, favorite horror sequel. I don't know if I really have like a favorite horror sequel. Like, oh, this is my favorite one. Let me think.
I don't know either. Like, fuck.
I really like
Scream
Evil Dead
2 is
2.
great. Evil Dead 2 is what I was gonna. I actually prefer Army of Darkness, to be honest.
Yeah, I need to rewatch all those. It's been a long time since I've seen them, but yeah, Evil Dead 2 is like a it's more of a comedy than the first one. But yeah, that's a good one.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Exorcist 3. Shit, man.
I need to see The Exorcist 3.
VHS 2.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, VHS 2. That has that really good what the fuck is his name?
Gareth
Timo.
Evans?
Wait, was it Gareth Evans or was it that other Indonesian director? Wait, is Gareth Evans Indonesian or does he just make Indonesian films?
I'm pretty sure he just makes Indonesian films because I'm pretty sure he did the
Oh yeah,
the best
that's not
segment in the
Indonesian.
movie Safe Haven.
Yeah. Anyway, what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, I want to see The Devil's Rejects, but I don't really consider that to be a horror
It's
film.
not like straight horror, but it's a great film.
Yeah, I prefer
Rob Zombie's best.
Oh yeah, for sure. I prefer To House of a Thousand Corpses, but it's more of a crime film. I don't really consider it to be horror. I mean, it's like it's very violent and brutal. But like it's not really horror in my opinion.
Know, I got an amazing one. Fantastic Four: The Rise of the Silver Surfer. That's a horror movie.
Freddy vs. Jason is good. I will, for all the Freddy vs. Jason haters out there, I will. What the fuck is? I will.
I don't care
destroy
for it.
your.
I rewatched it
opinion.
last 2 years ago. Final Destination 5.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Human Centipede 2 is really good. Or at
Hell,
least I really
better.
Yeah, I really like Human Centipede 2. I think it just takes all the elements that of the first one that could have been good because I'm not the biggest fan of the first one, and I think it just makes it into something that's just really, it knows what it is. It's like gross and just fucked up, but it's like it's fun. I think it's a fun.
Hellraiser 3. I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
Halloween
2 is pretty good.
Oh, Gremlins 2 is amazing in my opinion. I love it more than the fucking first one.
I haven't seen that actually. Hey, that's another good answer. Gremlins. That shit creeped me out so bad when I was a kid. That's for the childhood trauma one. Yeah, it really freaked me out because I thought it was gonna be like cute and wholesome for some reason, and then it turns into like a horror movie, and like a gremlin gets thrown into a blender, And that just that creeped me out so bad.
Oh man, Doctor Sleep, which we may or may not be talking about sometime.
Wink,
this
wink.
time, is a fantastic horror sequel.
Yeah, I'll give my thoughts on that when we get to it because
Yeah, I don't want to say too much.
Hostel 2 is good. Not as good as the first one, but it's decent. All the Saw sequels, I love all of them except for Jigsaw and Spiral.
I don't think I ever finished Saw 2 for some fucking reason, but I like Saw 2 a lot. What I saw. Actually,
I love all of them
I don't
except
know.
for Spiral and Jigsaw. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really have like a definitive like answer for like my favorite horror sequel is. Yeah, there's some that I like, you know. There's a lot of bad horror sequels out there, that's for sure.
What was that? I'm just saying randomly.
Here's a good one from Nikki. Which movies have y'all ever shit your pants to?
Have y'all? Okay. Is that how it's phrased?
All right, let me say that again.
Where's that question?
Anyway, I've never shit my pants because of a movie.
I have, but it's because of my disease. So I don't know about that.
But it's not like you shit because of the movie.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty bad movies.
Yeah, sorry, Nikki, I don't have a good answer for that. Let's see.
Oh, it's
From Mav, good old Mav. Shout out Mav. We need to get him on the podcast. Mav episode when? For Mav, if you had to go to a Halloween party and it was fancy dress, what or who would you go as? Does that mean that it was fancy? Does that mean you have to be dressed up as someone fancy?
And it was fancy dress?
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Where's this question from? Is that Mav?
Yes.
Are you okay, Mav? Okay. What?
I think it. Okay, if you had to go to a Halloween party and it was fancy dress, what or who would you go as? That's a good question. Like, who would you go to a costume party as? But like, or Halloween party, fancy. But like, I think I'm reading into it too far. Who would you go to a Halloween party as?
Yeah, let's go with that. Staff.
Kakihara from Each of the Killer. He has swag. Not gonna lie.
I don't fucking know. Who would I look good as?
Kakihara, more like Drippy Hara.
Shit, I don't know who I would go to.
Pinhead.
Halloween party. Does it have to be a horror guy?
No, it doesn't. Pinhead's a good one though. Like full, like straight up, like good, like Pinhead makeup and shit. Like,
yeah, Pinhead would be cool, but I don't. I'd have to wear a bald cap. That's more of a Mav costume.
Travis Bickle. That's pretty easy. You just gotta do a mohawk and throw on like a army jacket or whatever.
I could do a Joker. Let me do a Joker.
We live in a society.
Or just
you know
me up as a Jedi. I'll make my own like fucking Jedi. Get my own lightsaber. You
know what was funny? I was watching that movie Gamer last night. My friend Dan, good old Dan. Shout out Dan. They actually say we live in a society in that, and it was so funny. I laughed very hard.
Do they really?
Yeah. Michael Hall says it. He's like, it's funny because it's like we were joking, saying like, oh, you know, because there's something in it. There's like a whole program or some shit called Society. Anyway, and then there's his like first line is like, "We live in a society." We just lost it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Anyway, who else would be a good costume? Who's a good costumable character?
Just good costume overall, not for shit, man. I don't know.
The Collector.
Mm-hmm.
He has a cool mask.
I had a weird fucking dream about the Collector for some reason last night. Now
Yeah?
that I think of it. Yeah, I had a dream that, like, I figured out why he's wearing a mask.
Hmm.
And that
Why was it?
his face got, like, mutilated terribly by some guy who was keeping the Collector captive. The Collector was actually working for some evil dude. I don't fucking know what my dreams are made of.
But he was like a... What the fuck is the word for bug person? Entomologist? Entomologist? Wasn't he like
Was
a
he?
doctor or some shit? Yeah, in the shit. Is this a spoiler? It's not a spoiler. In the collection.
Saw the movie. I haven't seen the collection.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it's like at one point he's like a doctor or some shit, I think. And maybe I'm getting this wrong. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's like mutilated. I think he just wears it so to look creepy and like so you can't see his face.
I don't know what the fuck my dreams are about.
Me neither. I don't even remember him.
But
But what's funny is like there's certain dreams I have that's like I remember a dream I had when I was like 10 years old. And it's so weird because I was like, why do I vividly remember this one dream? And then I start to think like, wait, was this a dream or is it a memory? Or was the dream a memory? Like the dream was about a memory, so I'm remembering both the memory and the dream of the memory. Do you know what I mean? It's confusing. So like I don't even know what the fuck. I don't even what the fuck am I going on about? Yeah, I would go as cocky hearted at a Halloween party if it was fancy dress. Okay. From Kelly, shout out Kelly. That's another one of the main peoples of the Film Collective. I'm losing it. I'm slowly fucking losing here. Do you think there's a lot of unfair criticism of horror movies? I feel many get a bad rep, and there's not always a reason.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I think...
because I don't really have much to say other than horror is cool. Thank you. I'm kidding.
Drops mic. I think that a lot of people think of horror as just like this like trashy genre of like blood and tits and or like just like stupid like ghosts and stuff. And maybe people don't really consider it as a
I feel like a lot of people write horror off as just if it's not scary, then what's the point?
Yeah, that too.
Like
Where
it's not seen as like a genuine film. People think of horror as like it's a gimmick. It's just meant to be for one purpose.
yeah, like people.
And
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
understand that.
yeah, if it's not scary, if it's not going to scare you, it's like yeah, that's not really the point of Actually, here's a good question that goes along with it. We can probably fucking hell. We can probably kind of answer both of these questions at once. So I'm gonna hop over this from Sabadi.
Sabadi up, Adid up.
Okay.
What do you consider? What do you consider horror? And how should this genre be interpreted to allow for more nuance? It is idealistic to ask for all genre lines to be blurred out. If we take horror to be reliant on evoking a particular reaction from the viewer, then to not categorize it becomes very impractical. That's a really good question, actually, and I've thought about this
complex
before.
I'll let you go first.
Okay, let me think. I think that horror, obviously, it's not just something that's scary or disturbing or whatever. I think there's more to horror than people think, and like there are certain films that like doesn't seem like a horror film but is, and a lot of films that I think are considered horror films that I think aren't. But like, yeah, the question of like where would you draw the line, and like where does something become horror, or if it just depends on like your reaction to it. Like say if you find a horror movie or a film scary, it's a horror movie. That's not really true because like when I watch films, especially horror films, I don't really get scared at all. They rarely ever affect me. But like I still consider them horror, and like I don't know, like a film like Come and See. I've brought it up before. We gotta do a fucking episode on it at some point. Like I think that is a horror movie because it's not about it's not about blood and guts and or like it's not a slasher movie. It's not about ghosts or whatever. But like it's about something that's horrific, and it's portraying something that is, it's meant to disturb you because that is the point of the message of the film. And also something like, I've heard people talk about the film Cannibal Holocaust, which I'm a big fan of. They said, like, it's not actually a horror film because the point of it isn't just to be about, like, it's not like a cannibal exploitation film, like other variations of it, like Cannibal Ferox or something is. And, like, the film is actually more about it's about, like, the film industry and, like, how people exploit different various things. I won't go into a big discussion about Cannibal Holocaust, but like the point of that film isn't about, like, the gory elements of it, which is very interesting. Like, where do you draw that line of something becoming a horror film, or like something like Antichrist, or like the House that Jack built?
Honey Games.
Yeah. People call like say something like, yeah, you like the House that Jack built. That's like my favorite movies, right?
Yeah. Like,
I wouldn't consider that a horror movie just because it has graphic and disturbing stuff in it. I think of it as like a character study. It's like a drama about a character. It's also a dark comedy, but yeah, there's a lot of gray area in the horror genre. Like, there is some stuff that's, like, obviously it's there to make you either scared or, like, shock you, and that, yeah, it's a horror film. But, like, I don't know. I'm going out now. What do you think on this? Because, like, I thought about it and I don't really have clear answer. Fuck.
I don't know if I do. I just wanted, like, first things first. I find issues with the line it is idealistic to it is idealistic. I don't know. I'm caught up. Let's restart. It is idealistic to ask for all genre lines to be blurred out. I mean, I'm not sure what this person means by that. I don't understand why it's
like if
I know what idealistic means, but, like, why should genre lines be blurred out unless I'm misinterpreting this?
Let's see. What do you consider horror? How much genre should be interpreted? Nuance. Idealistic to ask for all genres. Like, to say that it's like, not consider something a horror film, or, like, a drama or comedy, and just see it as a film and whatever's in it is in it. I kind of see that's what they're saying. Maybe I'm wrong. And also, like, how if we take horror to be reliant on evoking particular reaction from the viewer, then to not categorize it becomes very impractical. Yeah, like, to say, like, it's only a horror film if it affects you or if it scares you, or gets a visceral reaction. I mean, that would be like saying you shouldn't call something a comedy unless it makes you laugh. So I get what they're saying, but yeah, I'm not sure if I have a real strong answer for this, because this is, like, one of the first questions that, like, I really got to think about it, because it's like,
the best question we've had asked.
Yes, definitely. So thank you, Savadi, for that.
I was gonna say, like, I'm not sure what they mean by that line. I feel like genres exist for a reason, and that's to find other things you're interested in, and that's the thing I like about genres. And
Yeah.
I find it a common sentiment that people don't like there being so many genres or subgenres or whatever. And I just find that nitpicky, and I don't quite understand that logic. Because why would you not want to find something that pertains to your interest?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's definitely,
Especially
I think genres have their purpose. Yeah, it definitely, it lets you, find what you're interested in, and what kind of, maybe see what to expect from a film as well. I mean, not that I really, like, go out just looking for, like, sorting by genre and watching whatever the fuck. But actually, there's a very interesting, the next question is about genre, but before we get to that, I would just say, I would like to consider this question more, and come back to it on next episode, where we will be talking about a film. Perhaps we'll be talking about a film that has genre stuff that is interpreted as a horror film, whereas maybe not. So yeah, Andy, would you like to maybe just talk about maybe? I'd like to give this question a bit more time because I think this is a very interesting question. And so Sabadi, we will be giving a part 2 of answering this next episode. I'm gonna just write a note real quick so I don't forget. How do you spell thoroughly? Fuck, I always mess that up. There we go. All right. So next question involving genres, actually, from Kettlecorn. So shout out Kettlecorn. What is your favorite subgenre of horror or theme? What do you think, or what is your favorite subgenre of horror or theme? Why do you think it's your favorite? It's an interesting one.
I talked about found footage a bit ago. I would say I really like found footage, but it's kind of more like my guilty pleasure. Favorite. I would say psychological horror, and I would count cosmic horror to be kind of under that umbrella.
Yeah, I really love psychological horror as well.
Psychological horror is probably my favorite, and I feel like a lot of films could fall under that umbrella.
Yeah. Not sure if this is really a subgenre, but one of my big interests in film and something I really love is like disturbing films. I like stuff that's like generally kind of fucked up, I guess. And like because I love those types of films and with like dark subject matter or whatever, a lot of those do tend to be found in the horror genre. I'm not sure if that's really like considered a subgenre. A lot of like disturbing horror films are like pretty like bad if you like go looking for that type of thing. But that's one thing. Something similar is like I don't really like the term, but like torture porn. Not like the actual stuff that's I would consider torture porn, like guinea pig or like grotesque or something, where that's literally the entire point of the movie is to show like blood and guts and torture. But stuff like the people deem torture porn because it's like violent or gory, like Saw or Hostel or The Collector. It's just I really like those types of really like gritty, violent, that type of thing. Or like Martyrs is another one I really like that would fall under that genre. Even though I don't like the term itself, people who call those or people call these films torture porn. So yeah, I like that type of thing. What else?
I said cosmic horror, psychological horror. I really like monster films.
I haven't seen enough cosmic horror, to be honest.
Anything with a monster is good for me. I think I pretty much said my favorites here.
I like body horror, but like I haven't really seen enough of it. I really like stuff with like transformation. I feel like that's a common theme in body horror stuff, like The Fly, or the Iron Man. But like I haven't really seen enough.
There's a bit of body horror in some monster films.
Yeah, I really like that type of thing. Also, I like 2000s type, maybe like late 90s as well, like teen horror, I guess it would be called. Stuff like it's kind of a guilty pleasure because a lot of those films aren't very good. But stuff like Final Destination.
I know what you did last summer.
I wasn't actually the biggest fan of that, but yeah, something like that. Or like Final
My Soul to Take.
My Soul to Take, Disturbing Behavior. The Loved Ones is kind of like that. Even though that film's really good, that's not really what?
Disturbia, maybe? I don't know.
I haven't seen that. Idle Hands too, but that's more of a comedy. I mean, it's got horror stuff, but Idle Hands is way more of a comedy. But like, yeah, that type of thing. I mean, I also really just like 2000s films in general. It's just so even if they're not good, I just get a lot of enjoyment out of them. Stuff like Fast and Furious, and that type of thing. And in the horror genre, it's man, I kind of wish we would have done an episode of My Soul to Take. That's a fun one. It's a funny movie. It was not supposed to be funny, but it is.
Story of my life.
I think we answered a good amount of questions here this episode. I think that's about it, right?
Yeah.
Then I'll wrap it up. Shall we get on to the next episode? What we're going to talk about?
Yeah, sure.
So next episode will be more horror, of course, because we're going to do horror all month. We'll be doing a. Wait, did we officially decide that we're going to do 3 Sam Neill movies, horror movies?
They're all Sam Neill movies.
Okay. We're going to do a.
It wasn't meant to be Sam Neill, but it turned into a Sam Neill movie.
Yeah.
Episode. It works. We're fine.
We're gonna do. Anyway, it's gonna be a Sam Neill horror triple feature, which will be very fun. We're gonna do consisting of Event Horizon, In the Mouth of Madness, and Possession. So that'll be fun. We were originally gonna do like Event Horizon and In the Mouth of Madness because they're both like cosmic horror. But I was like, you know what? I need to fucking talk about Possession because it's one of my favorite movies ever. And Sam Neill. So we just fuck it, Sam Neill episode. You know, who else is out there doing a fucking Sam Neill horror episode? Huh? We're being original up in here. We will have some guests on. I will not name the guests in case it falls through. I can cut this out. We're gonna have some guests. Should be a good time. I think I'll have more to say about those than I did about the films in this episode. So it's gonna be a good month. We have other stuff planned too for the rest of the month, and it's gonna be because I really like horror, so it's fun to just talk about all horror this month. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's end it. I have no idea how the fuck long we've been talking. 11:10. Fuck, we've been talking for over 2 hours. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
I thought it was like 80 minutes or something. What? All right, yeah, I'll take it.
That's 2 hours and 10 minutes, right?
Damn, son. It'll probably be around 10 minutes because I gotta cut a lot of this shit out. I rambled a lot.
11:10, so that's 12:10, 1:10. That's 2 hours and 10 minutes.
What's up, Brett?
So about an hour and a half or so, or an hour 40 of episode in total.
Yeah, I forgot to turn on my stopwatch on my phone, so I don't know how the fuck long. Anyway, yeah, see everyone next episode, and make sure you watch a lot of good horror movies this month. So otherwise, I'll come to your door and I'll I don't even know. Let's just end it. Say something funny to end it with.
Penis.
Hello, welcome to the 10th episode of the Long Day's Journey to Film podcast. I'm Russ, my co-host.
Andy here.
And it's October, so we're going to be talking about